All right. Welcome back to today's episode. And I'm going to take it back in today's episode to a time before I knew about funnels, before I knew sales, back to when I was an undergrad, actually, and talk to you about content marketing, right? So here's the thing. When I first started my online entrepreneurial journey, I was doing a lot of website design and SEO, right? It's kind of how I paid my way through school in terms of, building out websites. In fact, I joined multiple organizations on campus just so I can build their website and use that as proof of concept. So when I go meet with clients, I'm like, hey, look, here's stuff that I've done, and, seal the deal from there. And so in those first early stages of my online career, right, the whole goal was to build a website and then ideally try to rank on Google, right? That was the big idea that many of the clients that I work with had in their minds. They're like, oh, we just need to be able to get to the first page of Google. Let's go ahead and just put keyword after keyword. We're going to create content after content, and we're just going to put this on the website, and everything's going to be gravy. Well, I'm pretty sure you know how this story is going to go. Things didn't really work out that way, okay? In fact, a lot of burnout tended to happen on both ends, right? As a college student, I was there trying to put all these blogs on a website, and there they are trying to create just one blog. And anyone who does blog writing, if you don't have a system, you know how long it can take you to write a blog, especially if you're trying to do like keyword research. That in and of itself is going to take a lot of time, especially if you don't have a team around you to help you, right? So, in a very similar case, I see this happening to many entrepreneurs in the beginning where, they're thinking, I got to have a website, I need to have a blog, I need to write content, I need to have Instagram, I got to post on that, I need to start tweeting, I need to have a YouTube channel. The strategy always tends to be content first rather than business, right? The whole idea is like, hey, I have a business, great, now I need to have content because content is going to be generating sales. Well, content doesn't necessarily generate sales. What it does is that it increases consumption, right? It increases your know, like, and trust factor, okay? And that's if your content gets any traction, right? We live in a pay-to-play kind of world. So if you are just creating content, but you're not advertising that content, it's going to take a while before any of that content starts to get traction, unless you do some kind of growth hacks, right? Or maybe you partner with some big names, some influencers, and start leveraging other people's audiences. But for most people, when they're starting out, that whole content strategy thing, it's a little bit deceiving. And to be honest with you, it's not the right way to go about it, because you're going to be spending a lot of time, energy, and effort creating pieces of content, which are going to be great, but aren't going to necessarily produce any results in the short game, right? And if we look at Forbes, right, I believe Forbes put out a study that said 90% of businesses fail within the first 90 years. 50% of businesses fail within the first 5. And the number one reason is because of cash flow, right? It's not because of, traffic or conversion or anything else like that, or, your offer's terrible. It's just literally because of cash flow. So we need to protect our cash flow, okay? And, even if you're just starting out and you're not, paying anybody, you're paying with your time, which is even more valuable than cash. Okay, and let's say you started to bring on people to start creating content pieces for you. Now you're paying them, but are those content pieces providing anything back for you? Right? Sure, to some people who have SEO teams and people who understand how to write, copywriters who understand how to write with keywords, it can be a very profitable way to go. But to many that are just starting out, where cash flow is a little bit tight, it's not the right strategy to start off with. In my opinion, it's better to start off with your business first. So what do I mean by that? Well, once you have your business, you need to focus on your offer, okay? Now, people think of your offer as kind of like the one product or service you're going to be selling. Your offer is the overall idea. It's the transformation that your business is providing from a pain point to a pleasure point, right? You're solving a problem. So the transformation is going from problem to solution. That's the overall offer that you're presenting with your business. Okay, and ultimately, that's what people are going to decide on, whether or not it's going to be worth their time, energy, and effort to then invest in you, in your business, in your products, and your services. Okay, but first things first is that you have to start with your offer. What is it going to be? How are you going to provide that transformation? Is it going to be different sets of courses? Are you going to be doing some kind of guides? Is it a group coaching session? Are you going to be having a monthly membership? How are you going to be facilitating that transformation? Okay, now once you have your offer in place, the one thing that you must do next is build out your funnel. Okay, think of your funnel, your sales funnel, as a way of breaking apart your offer into bite-sized chunks that people can consume, because you can't throw everything at them right away. We have to kind of break it up in a sense, because you have to think about it as a kind of mini relationship, right? You don't want to say, hey, marry me right off the bat, right? You kind of want to let them start gradually increasing and start gradually consuming more of your services. Okay, so you need to start building out your funnel in a series of steps. Now, there's different types of funnels, but generally they come down to two main types. There's lead generation funnel and, a customer generating funnel, in my opinion. So a lead generation, typically you have some kind of free giveaway, right? Like it can be a free report, a free PDF. From there, they go to a thank you page, which 80% of the time is probably going to be a sales page, and then there's going to be some kind of order bump and an upsell. Okay, a customer oriented sales funnel is going to be going straight to an offer. Typically, you're going to see a lower end offer, maybe around $7 to maybe $34, $47 maybe, and then after that, you're going to see an upsell, an order bump, and all that kind of jazz. But it's a series of steps. Okay, so you need to have your offer first, then a series of steps. Okay, and when you have those steps in place, right, now you have a customer journey. Now you have a process for how people can start to ascend, right? So they go from free, they then buy the small product. And obviously with your upsells, your order bumps, you might want to incentivize them by giving them a bigger discount than if they were to buy regularly, et cetera, et cetera. But you need that sales funnel in place so that way you can communicate your offer over a series of steps. Okay, and the other reason why a funnel is so great is because let's say your offer is really that great and it's probably worth $2,000. Not too many people are going to be able to pull out the credit card and pay $2,000 right off the bat. Okay, some people struggle just paying $27. So what a funnel does, that it allows you to break up your offer into bite-sized chunks that are more affordable, so that way you can convert customers. And as Dan Kennedy always said, a customer is a customer is a customer. So by generating customers on the low end, you essentially have a list of customers who are potentially going to buy that big ticket offer from you down the road. Okay, so funnels are great for gauging the temperature of your audience, but also getting them to start building that relationship with you. It's a two-sided relationship, right? You provide the value, they provide the cash incentive. Okay, so we want to focus on that. Now, last but not least, is that either way you're going to be paying. So you might as well pay with your cash rather than your time. So in my opinion, once you have your offer and your funnel in place, the best thing you can go about doing is running some paid ads. Whether it's on Facebook, on Google, on YouTube, wherever your market tends to be, wherever your market is going to be consuming, right? So for example, let's say you do a lot of videos, or you want to do a lot of videos, YouTube would probably be a better place to advertise because people are consuming that kind of content. If, for example, you have some kind of like audio giveaway, you might want to advertise on Spotify because why? People listen to podcasts on Spotify, right? So you want to place an ad wherever your audience tends to consume the content that you are trying to provide them, right? Be where your audience is. Okay, and advertise rather than creating content and hoping that the Google algorithm picks it up and waiting 6 to 9 months to see any kind of results. With paid ads, you'll be able to see results by the end of the day, even depending on how much you advertise, right? How much you spend. You can do a lot with $5 a day, right? Now, typically I recommend starting off with $100 a day, right? But again, that is only if you have a funnel in place. If you don't have a funnel in place, you start with your offer. Okay, you start with your offer, you build out your funnel, and then you start to advertise. But with $5 a day, you can start to get some traction. You can kind of see if people are clicking to the website, if they're reading, if they're consuming, if they're engaging with your content. Okay, but at the end of the day, again, most businesses that I have built, right, with my clients, my own, have always relied on paid ads. They haven't relied on content. Right now, I create content for myself because I like educating and I like putting this stuff out there. But really, if I'm being honest, the return on my investment is very minimal when it comes to my own content creation. Where I produce the biggest results is always when I do paid ads. Okay, so keep that in mind when it comes to your business strategy, right? Put your business first before your content strategy. Make sure you have an offer in place, a funnel, and that you can drive traffic to it, okay? And by doing so, you're going to shorten the amount of time that you're spending in essentially la la land trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work for your business. When you're spending money, you're more conscious of how that money is being spent and is that return coming back into your business, as opposed to creating content and then waiting to see if it's generating any kind of traffic, and by then it might already be too late and you're out of cash, right? And you spent all that time. With ads, at least the time is decreased, and yeah, you're still spending cash, but you're able to, again, you can turn off the ads. You're able to control your success in a sense at a much faster rate than if you were just relying on a content first strategy. Now, don't get me wrong, content is great, but it comes at the right time. And in the beginning, go with paid ads, and you're going to see whether or not your offer, your funnel is converting. You can make adjustments, and you'll be on a much faster path to success. All right, everybody, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you all on the next one.